right, what's up? I hope you're doing phenomenally well in these crazy, crazy times that we're in. My name is Kay. I host Good Morning Bangalore on 94.3 Radio 1. And, we're doing 100 hours, 100 stars as a tribute to COVID warriors across the world. And today I have such a sweet, wonderful person joining me all the way from the UAE. This is going to be really fun. Before I even introduce him, let me just tell you a little bit about what we're doing here. Now, over the next 100 hours, you're going to be seeing the biggest stars from across the world on this very platform. This is being broadcasted simultaneously on all platforms of the Hindustan Times, digital, print, radio, you name it, it is all there. And it's all in aid of the PM Cares Fund, where we're trying to raise and support people who have been affected in these crazy times of COVID-19. So you should see a QR code on your screen. You should see a link below. And any quantity that you want to contribute in is always welcome. No amount is too small. Even a rupee, 100% works. But that being said, let me introduce you to a guy who is I think, just exudes so much positivity. Kris, thank you so much for joining me, man, all the way from the UAE. I appreciate your time, man. Thank you so much.
Pleasure to be here, man. Love the cause. Let's have some fun, and honor to be here on the show and on the platform.
Super. So for those of you who have not been introduced to Kris, he is the voice of the Kris Fade show, which is on Virgin Radio's 104.4 in Dubai. It's all across the UAE. But more than that, he's also a person who has been a host for a very long time, rubbed shoulders with the biggest stars from across the world. But also you're an entrepreneur, which I love. And you got Fade Kids going on with some yummy, healthy snacks that I know you feel very, very passionately for. Am I right?
100%, man. It's my bread, my butter, my blood. It's my family. I've got my kids involved in my business.
Yes.
Yeah, we kicked off a healthy snack company like 2 years ago. It was 2 years ago this week that me and my young daughters, they're 10 and 8. I've made one the general manager, the other one's the financial controller, and I'm the boss, I'm the CEO.
So cute, so very cute. And how do they manage the company? I mean, for is the kids so young? Do you think it's important to kind of introduce them into the whole business world in a time like this?
100%. This is the age, man. If I knew that my daughters knew at the age of 10 or 8, forget about it. Like, they're already doing me. The tooth fairy came last week, right? And my 8-year-old's she got about $10 US, right? And she's like, $10 US from the tooth fairy. I would have expected more in these times, especially when people are doing it so tough. I looked at her, I was like, man, how does she know that? She's 8 years old, but I love that they're so young, and one day they're going to be ruling me. They're going to be the boss of me, and I can't wait for that.
Super. All right. So, Kris, I want to start this off in true Indian style. Would you mind if I taught you a little bit? Touch you a little bit of, say, our culture, our language? Yes?
Love to. Let's go.
All right. So I've got something interesting that I want to take you through, which is, of course, Indian dialogues that you can use in any scenario. Are you ready, my friend? Are you ready?
Ready to go. Ready to go.
This is a very famous Indian dialogue, and I'm sure Pretty, who is on the show with you as well, would have taken you through many of these. You know, she's a big Shah Rukh Khan fan, right?
I know.
So this is a little dialogue from a film called DDLJ. All right.
I know DDLJ. Yes,
you know
I know
DDLJ. What are you saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
I know.
So it goes, "Bade bade shehron mein,
bade shehron mein,
aisi choti choti baatein."
Okay, hold on. How long are we? How many lines? My small brain can only remember so much.
3.
Okay. Buddy.
Deshon mein.
What is it? Buddy, what?
Deshon mein.
Deshon mein.
You got it?
I'm writing it down. Mein. Okay, yeah.
Deshon mein. Aisi choti choti baatein.
Aisi choti
baatein. Baatein. Yes, very good.
Okay, yeah.
Last line is very simple. Hoti rehti hai, señorita.
Hoti
rehti hai, señorita.
I like how you say the last line is very easy. You know, when you don't know another person's language, nothing's easy. You know that.
You want to give it a shot, though? I think you'd be pretty good at it. You want to give it a shot?
Badi desho mein isi choti Chobai
Bate.
bate hoti reti ne señorita.
Yeah, you got it. I'll give it to you. Good job, man. Good job. It's pretty phenomenal.
I apologize to the beautiful language that you guys speak. I completely destroyed it. My apologies.
I think you did great. Okay, so this is an easier one we should just give you, which is Subah ho gayi mamu.
Listen, you can't start off by saying it's easier ever. You can't go, I got it. It's like me going, do you speak Arabic?
Wallah, yes, I speak a good Arabic.
Yeah, you don't know. So say Shuam Tamlo, it's easy. Shuam Tamlo.
Shua Tamlo.
That was actually pretty good. All right, not bad. I'll pay that.
All right. So what am I saying, Mamu, is to say that, hey, it's a new day, good morning. It's like Subah ho gayi mamu.
Okay, say it again for me.
Subah ho gayi mamu.
Suga ho gayi mamu.
I'll give it to you. That was good. All right. Okay. So, Kris, I want to quickly speak about your journey as a radio presenter. You've been doing this for how many years now?
I've been on radio for about 15 years now, man. I kicked off my radio career about 15 years ago and grew up in Sydney, Australia, the best cricketing country in the world.
Yo. Come on.
Hey.
It's that's not true. You know that's not true. Come on.
I don't know. I mean, who's the best cricketing country? Who do you think?
It's this amazing country called India. You should check them out.
Okay, all right. I thought it was another country possibly even. I kicked off. I lived in Sydney, Australia. I come from a Lebanese background. My parents are Lebanese. We grew up in Sydney, Australia. I got into radio accidentally, man. I didn't really know what I wanted to do when I left school. I didn't do great at school. I went to school and completed grade 12, my end of year schooling, and I didn't go to college or university. I was trying to find myself, and I gradually just found myself working in radio right at the bottom. It was the bottom level of radio where I used to drive promotional cars around and give out free stuff on the streets. But I knew that I loved it. I got my first radio show at the age of 24 years old. So it wasn't like I was straight out of college or anything. And I fell in love with it, man. I realized that it's something that I wanted to do. I worked on radio in Australia for about 4.5 years. And then the opportunity came up to help start Virgin Radio, which is Richard Branson. And he's starting a radio station in Dubai. I had the option of going to Kuala Lumpur or Dubai. I chose Dubai.
Good choice.
Because I wanted to be closer to Lebanon and India. Yeah. And I gave it a go, man. And ever since then, I've been here for 11 years now in Dubai doing a big radio show here, which we love. And I'm syndicated across Oman. I'm syndicated across Australia now. My radio show goes back into Australia, which is super cool. So we have fun, man, having fun with Pretty Malik, my co-host, who's Punjab, and she's amazing. And I've learned so much about the Indian culture and the Bollywood feel. And, I've learned so much about just such an amazing. I thought Lebanese weddings, I thought Arab weddings were big until I've been to a few Indian weddings when I realized they start on a Sunday and they finish on a Friday. I'm like, how many parties do we go to? Let me
jump in really quick there because you mentioned weddings. You, my friend, are a very lucky man, I'd say. You're due to get married very soon. And Will Smith was at your proposal with Brianna. And that was a magical time. I saw the video and it was so beautiful. How does it feel to be engaged and to have like a person like Will Smith involved in the proposal? How does it feel for you personally?
Yeah, man, that's something that I remember when you look back in your life and they say to you, what do you remember? That will be definitely one of my highlights. Yeah. I've connected with Will Smith many times and have somewhat of a relationship with Will. So when I was going to propose to my fiance Brianna, I wanted to do something different. I wanted to do something, something that she will remember and something that I will remember. So we were in Jordan. In Jordan, and I was there to do some interviews, and one of them was with Will, and I had spoken to Will prior to his management and said, would you be interested in help me out, propose to my fiance? And he was like, 100%, let's do it. And yeah, he pretended to take a selfie with my fiance, my partner at the time.
And you were on your knees in the background.
And I got on my knees in the background and proposed to my fiance with Will Smith there. We all hugged it out. It was such a special moment, and he's such an unbelievable human being as well.
I just want to kind of say at a point like this. Sorry, before we go ahead, for everybody watching this, 100 Hours, 100 Stars is a tribute to COVID warriors. So if you would like to contribute, the QR codes on the screen, the links below, it all goes to the PM Cares Fund. It's a very simple thing done through Paytm. But moving on, I noticed with the way you speak, Kris, that family holds a very special place in your heart. Be it Brianna, be it the way you talk about Will Smith, or more than that, you're two wonderful angels. And I think family is so important in a time like this when it comes to the whole COVID-19 scenario. You're spending a lot of time at home, right?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I've never spent this much time at home. I don't think anyone's spent this much time at home. I was just talking to a few friends of mine. I do a podcast similar to what you're doing right now, a video show where I'm calling up friends that I have and just seeing how they're dealing with it. And I spoke to Lindsay Lohan last week. I spoke to Jay Sean.
Really quickly, for everybody who's watching, you should watch it. It's called Stay at Home with Kris Fade. It's beautiful. I think you have Jay Sean on, Lindsay Lohan, Gary B.
We got Gary B.
Yeah.
We just spoke to 7-time Mr. Olympia Phil Heath as well, and hearing how these guys are dealing with it as well. Because as an artist, as a singer, Jay Sean, as a Phil Heath, is dealing with it. Most of us we're not going to work. Sure. That's the biggest thing we know. But some of these guys, their work is like being at a gym and training 24/7. So hearing how everyone's dealing with it, man. Listen. Apart from obviously the death that we're seeing from this horrible virus, and also the economy, seeing people lose their jobs and lose their money,
sure.
I'm trying to look at the benefits, and I haven't spent so much time at home ever. I'm someone that works. I'm up at 4:30 in the morning, and I'm not back till 10 o'clock at night. And that's every day, 7 days a week. It doesn't stop, from doing the radio, doing TV, to running my business. Being able to just spend so much time with my family, and we're cooking and we're swimming and we're doing gardening together. We're doing things that I would never have had the chance to do. And what this coronavirus has taught me, and this COVID is that I don't want, everyone says, do you think we're going to go back to the way that we were? I actually don't want to go back to the way that we were. I think this is a bit of a reset for everyone. Obviously, we want the virus to disappear and go away and leave us, and we want everyone to get their jobs back. But I know that I've got a realization now of how it feels to be a little bit with the handbrake on, not having to push 100% of the time. There are bigger things in life. There is more to life than just work. So I think this balance that I have found throughout this moment has been something that I'll take with me for the rest of my life.
Beautiful. Let's speak about the balance of the whole thing that you try to do with radio. You throw that in the hand. You got Fade Fit Kids happening in the other hand. Fade Fit Kids is beautiful. You guys make such lovely, healthy snacks. What's like the number one fast-selling item on Fade Fit Kids? Which is the best flavor that sells?
Well, it's funny. We just released 4 adult snacks, or all ages snacks. So we've got 3 Fade Fit Kids snacks. We've got 4 all ages snacks, and then we've got these multivitamin gummy bears as well, right?
Yeah.
Sugar-free multivitamins. So they're all doing really well, but the 2 that stick out, there's a double chocolate flavor, and it's all made by cocoa with no preservatives. It's sugar-free. It's very natural, and that's something that I wanted to create. I was a fairly overweight guy 4 or 5 years ago, and I lost a lot of weight, and I got fit, and I realized that fitness is the key to life. Staying fit. Without health, you have nothing.
I know you talk about this very proudly, because not only do you work out very often, you're also always at it, encouraging, motivating people to work out. But more than that, I think you're also the kind who, has moved to a healthy lifestyle. I remember at one point in time you saying that you used to smoke, and you stopped that completely, and you're very proud of it.
100%, man. I mean, listen, no regrets, but back in the day, I was a smoker. I smoked for nearly 12 years. I was overweight. I was 128 kilos. I was anxious, depressed at sometimes. I just wasn't giving my body what it needed to given, right? And that was a bit of love, a little bit of TLC. So now I hit the gym 6 days a week. I eat fairly healthy. I'm not like super strict. I'm a fitness freak. I don't want a six pack. I don't need the bulgy muscles, but I'm healthy. And I think that's something important that we all have to remember. So my snacks, hopefully we'll get them into India soon. If anyone wants to bring them out there.
That sounds like a plan. That sounds like a plan. Yeah,
I've had actually many people in India contact me saying, hey, we want to buy them. How do we get them? So I'm looking for a good distributor out there, and hopefully we'll bring out these healthy snacks, these vitamins for kids, for adults. We've got more things coming up with the brand as well. So it's really a brand that's just going to be about health and fitness, but at the same time, just, affordable and taste good. That's what it is. So I'm loving running a business, man. Like running a radio show is amazing, and I love doing it every single day. My passion is radio. I'll always do radio, but running a business like a healthy snack company is also as rewarding.
Super. Let me move to a little bit of fun that I want to have with you. Have you ever played Never Have I Ever?
Never have I ever. I know the game. Yep, let's go. I'm ready to go.
So if you have done it, raise your hand. All right?
Sure.
If you've never done it, just keep your hand down. All right?
Okay.
Shall we? Here we go.
Ready to go.
Never have I ever seen a Bollywood movie and cried.
So if I haven't done it, I keep my hands down, right?
If you haven't done it, you keep your hands down. If you have done it, raise your hand.
Okay.
Huh? No? All right. Never have I ever.
I don't even cry with like English movies either. Like it's very hard for me to cry. Believe me, I want to cry sometimes, but it just won't happen.
Single tear. Never have I ever hitchhiked.
No, I don't know.
You've hitchhiked?
Yep.
Wow. When?
It was in Australia when I was. I guess it is hitchhiking. My car had broken down. I had a 1989 Mazda 323 hatchback. It was a bomb of a car. It was horrible. It was my grandmother's car. And I remember driving home and it just literally broke down. It fell apart. I was walking and I thought to myself, I was a good 10 kilometers away from home. I had no money to get a taxi. And I remember just sticking out the thumb and a guy picked me up, and it's weird. I wasn't even worried. I guess when I think I was probably 20 years old. I didn't care. I was like, let's jump in.
I'm scared to hitchhike, man. I don't know. You do it.
Listen, I don't condone hitchhiking. It's one of those moments that I look back and I go, well, that was pretty stupid, right? I mean, things could happen, but I did hitchhike home, and he dropped me home.
No, not bad. Let's give you the last one. Never have I ever lied to impress Brianna.
Oh no, I lie all the time.
Oh, you have?
Yeah, easily lied. Many times.
Oh, they're small white lies. They're small white lies.
What's that?
They're small white lies.
Yeah, when I met Brianna, she's originally my fiance. She's from America, right? And she had only moved to Dubai. She was about 6 months into Dubai before meeting me. And if walking around Dubai or the UAE, if I'm walking around, I'll usually be stopping, taking selfies and photos and that sort of feel, right? And she didn't really know me of that person. We met through a friend, so she didn't know me as Kris, the radio guy, and the one that everyone knew. Yeah, she just knew me. I mean, she knew that I was on the radio and she knew that I had a show, but somewhat of a white lie is I took her to the mall because I thought to myself, I want to impress her. I want to go to the mall because I'll get stopped. A lot of people will be stopping and taking photos of me. I'll impress her. And I remember us walking into the mall, and within a couple of minutes, I got people coming up to me taking photos, and I remember her just sort of looking, and I'm thinking to myself, going, yes, she's impressed. But I didn't even know she's not that type of person. I don't think she was impressed. She was just sort of like, are we done? Can we go and have dinner now?
Right.
It was like,
I know how extremely chill she is. She's very chill as a person.
Yeah, she's super chilled. Yeah, I'm the opposite. I'm like, go, 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 go. Loud, loud, loud. She's like, just relax, which is good. I think it sort of balances you out. I think it's important in relationships to balance each other out.
Absolutely. Let me ask you about the scenario with regards to COVID-19 in the UAE. How is the UAE handling it? How do you feel about the efforts that the government's making? Everything. Let me know.
Yeah, you know what? Really good. Firstly, commending India. I think they've done a great job as well with the huge population that you guys have. The numbers are fairly good at that rate. You would think that it would be a lot higher. So good on them jumping on early. The UAE's done an amazing job, man. Our leaders have been fantastic. They jumped on this 6 weeks ago. They put the kids out of schools 5 weeks ago, like shut everything down so quickly. They've had, we are the number one country in the world when it comes to testing per capita. We've already done more than 1.2 million tests, which has been unbelievable. Our cases at this stage, where the moment that you and I are talking right now, we're at about 10,500 cases. Unfortunately, 72 deaths. But I feel comfortable. I feel safe. We're right now in partial quarantine. At night, it's fully quarantined. You're not allowed to leave your houses. Right now, it's partial. We're allowed to go to certain stores. Everything must be 30% full at all times. Social distancing in practice. We all must be wearing masks. So, man, I feel good. I feel safe. They've done a great job. And, hopefully, as they say, we bury this virus and things get back to somewhat normality in the next few months towards the end of the year, inshallah, as they say. But let's see.
All right. Kris, we're very soon reaching the last part of our little chat. At this time, you can see how passionately Kris talks about, how COVID-19 has been a great time for him. I hope that all of you watching this, you are staying at home, staying strong. But more than anything else, if you feel the need to contribute to the PM Cares Fund, QR code, link in the description, hit it up, and, how much ever you would like to give, it's completely voluntary. Kris, this last part is a fun little game that I want to play with you, where I'm going to give you like a couple of scenarios, and you're going to react with one of two reactions, all right?
Okay.
Now, sahi hai in India means like, that's good, sahi hai.
Okay.
Yeah?
Sahi hai. Sahi hai.
Sahi hai. So like, if I say, Kris, it's such a beautiful day outside, you will say,
sahi hai.
Perfect.
Well, what does it mean?
It means absolutely, certainly. Right?
Okay.
All right?
Sahi hai.
Sahi hai. There we go. And if we kind of say, for example, you disagree with something, you think, no, it's not like that. You will say, illa macha.
Illa
macha.
Macha.
So macha is like a very Bangalore, Karnataka word. It's like saying dude or bro. Illa means no, and macha means like bro, dude, right?
Okay, illa macha. I gotcha. Let's go.
There we go. All right.
Okay.
Kris, here's the interrogation part. All right. Doing and being an entrepreneur is way more fun than anything else in the world.
Illa macha.
Really? All right. And on that note, do you think, and are you proud of the efforts that the UAE is making for entrepreneurs out there in a time like this?
Sahi hai. Sahi hai.
Yeah, all right. And Kris, in a time of COVID-19, do you feel that this extra family time that we're getting is all for the good and things will work out well?
Sahi hai.
Sahi hai. And Kris, last but definitely not the least, have you had fun doing this with me?
Ella. Sahi hai.
My friend, I want to say this has been so cool chatting out with you. Of course, I first came across you when I visited Dubai because I have family in Dubai. And I'm always curious to switch on the radio. And when I switched on the radio, yours was the first voice that I heard. And then after that, it took to following you on social media. I realized after your conversation with me that you and I have very similar beginnings in the radio space, right? And I wish you all the very best, man, with everything, whether it is with, give my love to Nushi and Kiki, to Hercules at home, of course, and give my love, what's the other doggy's name? I forgot. Coco. My love to Brianna, to everybody at Virgin Radio, and of course at Fade Fit Kids as well. I appreciate your time. I know you're a very busy man. So thank you for doing this with us.
It's all good. It's all a pleasure. Thank you so much for doing this and the platform that you've given us as well. And hopefully people are donating. If anyone gets a second as well, I was in Tigers Zinda Hai. I know that's a huge film out there. I'm in it for about 9 seconds. I get killed. I was on set for 2.5 days for the 9 seconds with Tigers Zinda Hai.
Are you kidding me?
Yep, you can see me. If you go to the trailer of Tigers in the Hair, I'm actually in the trailer. I'm the first person that you see. I have a child on my back.
After this.
Yeah. Again, 2.5 days on that movie. Pretty Mullick and Big Rossi, my co-hosts, were also, they play cameos in that movie as well. So go and see it. And if anyone else is really bored, go onto YouTube and YouTube Dubai to Mumbai Kris Fade. It is a movie that I made on my phone when I traveled from Dubai to Mumbai. It's shot in Mumbai. It's absolutely horrible, but go and watch it. Thank you.
Kris, I look forward to seeing you when you come to India next time. And when I come to the UAE next time, I will definitely hit you up. And I would love to have a cup of coffee with you and just chat about life. Thank you for doing this, my friend.
Good on you, buddy. Well, listen, pleasure, honor. Thank you, man. Keep in contact on the gram if you need anything, and look forward to seeing you when you come back here.
Thank you.
All right, man.
Big smile. Thank you so much. And we'll see you soon. Take care, buddy.
Yeah, brother. Take care, man. Be safe. Love to the family.
Take care.
Hi, hello, this is RJ from Lucknow. Hope you guys are enjoying 100 Hours, 100 Stars. The list is jam-packed with superstars and legends. So just stay tuned, and what you like, just don't forget to share. Please like, share, comment and subscribe if you're watching on YouTube and Facebook also. Do comment, share with your friends and family if you're watching on Instagram. Hi, hello to everyone. Just stay connected, stay tuned and stay entertained.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for watching and supporting 100 Hours, 100 Stars. What we're doing here with 100 Hours, 100 Stars is an initiative to try and give a non-stop tribute to COVID warriors who are on the front lines. And there is a QR code at the end of the screen that you can read. I'll tell you more about the QR code, but before that, I have to introduce you to my guest right now. It's U.S. Consul General David Ranz. Thank you so much, David, for joining me.
It's my pleasure. I'm very excited to be with you today.
You know, I believe it's just been 8 months you've come to India. And well, it isn't the brightest of things that's happening in the time that you've come to India, because there's a lot of hopes that you would have pinned around your stay in India to take over. It's given you about, I think, not more than 6.5 months before the pandemic hit us. So what has your experience been so far?
Well, before the pandemic, the amount of travel I was doing was incredible. I cover Western India, so I cover the states of Gujarat, Maharashtra, Goa, Madhya Pradesh, and Chhattisgarh. So I visited all 5 of those states at least once, and a couple of them more than once. I've had an extraordinary opportunity to visit all over those parts of India, and some parts that are not in my district in the south as well. My wife Tali and I, and honestly, we've just had an incredible time, particularly here in Mumbai, but just in general in India. The diversity, the richness, the culture, the food is extraordinary. The nature, we're huge nature lovers, and so we spent some time back in December and January on a tiger safari in Tadaba, in the rural part of Maharashtra. We've also spent some time in rural Gujarat. And it's been incredible, the warmth of the Indian people in general, but particularly the warmth of the welcome that we experienced here in Mumbai. I've been in the Foreign Service now for over 28 years, and I never experienced anything like it in my life. We've been having an absolutely amazing time, and honestly, that warmth has extended into the lockdown as well, because a lot of the friends that we made here in Mumbai during the period where we could get around, we have been staying in close touch with everybody in the lockdown as well, and feel very supported by everybody around us. It's been a wonderful experience.
Coming back to the time that you spent in so many other countries, you say 28 years, I believe you've been Secretary General for a few years in Nepal, Bangladesh, many other, Maldives that you've stayed in, and so many other countries, experiences that you have taken, that you have, I think, the diversity and the richness of different cultures that you're visiting in these countries. You bring in all that experience. It's only the diplomats and people that have a stature like yours, who have these all-rounded, well-bodied experience of beautiful cultures. So one doesn't need to tell you that you've got to take life a little slow. Nevertheless, the pandemic is pretty much trying to teach us that. What are your thoughts about this lockdown, about the pandemic?
Well, it's been, I mean, obviously it's been hard for everybody to be cooped up inside their houses. It's critically important for everybody's health, and we're doing it with pride, as is everybody else. But one of the things that obviously frustrates us is we have plans for the time that we're in India to travel all over the country as well as around the region. And so obviously we're feeling a little bit behind schedule, as it were. So now, we're spending a lot of time watching movies and TV, reading, listening to music, playing with our cat Totoro. We have, both of us have a lot of work. My work at the consulate has been extremely busy, even though we and my whole team are under lockdown. So we're keeping ourselves very, very busy, but I miss the outdoors. So, we'll get back on track in the not too distant future, but for now, we're just trying to take it day by day.
You know what? I like the optimism, because everybody would like a little of that to rub off on everyone around. Because yes, as the days are proceeding into a extended lockdown, I think it's getting to everyone. Mentally, it's disturbing that you can't step out of the house. You can't go back to doing things that you used to do before, at least meeting people. Now, the situation back in New York, that's where you come from. And the situation here in India. You're pretty much on track with what's happening in both the countries. So going forward, what are some of the discussions that people are having, in the management, at your level, between the countries? Can you throw light upon a little bit of that?
Well, there are many ways in which U.S. and India are partnering. India, there's an immense amount of research that gets done in India. As I'm sure you know, India is one of the largest producers of pharmaceuticals in the world, one of the largest producers of vaccines in the world. It produces either medical devices or parts for medical devices. One of the big focuses of my team and I has been to work with local authorities to make sure that industries and services that are critical to the world economy and to the fight against COVID-19 continue to operate. And the authorities here, whether it's the state or the municipal authorities, have been extraordinary in their willingness to work with U.S. companies, Indian companies, and us to move that these services are moving forward. One of, I think, our most exciting developments very early on, right at the beginning of the lockdown, a company called Portiscap, which makes mini motors, contacted us because there's a big project in the United States, General Motors and Ventrec, to produce ventilators. So actually General Motors contacted us and said that this company produces mini motors that they need to be able to produce ventilators. So we work with the local authorities, and within a very short period of time, the factory was back up and running and producing these mini motors, which now have been installed in the ventilators. So that it's not an exaggeration to say that there are people in cities like Chicago who owe their lives to the factory workers here in Mumbai who are producing these mini motors. So that's just one example of the many ways in which our two countries are partnering to fight the virus.
Wow, that's amazing. Can you tell me any new habits that you've picked in this past 1 month?
Well, I won't say it's a new habit, but I've always loved to cook. I've always loved to cook, and I hadn't been doing much cooking here in India, both because the restaurants are so fabulous and because I have a phenomenal cook who works for me in my home. But he's obviously home with his family, and the restaurants are closed. We still order, quite a bit, but my wife and I have been doing a lot more cooking than we had been used to, which is really nice, and I've been enjoying that. Of course, because we can't exercise, that isn't necessarily the best thing for our health. But it's been one way for us to keep sane in these unusual circumstances.
Absolutely. Let's talk about some of the things you would have picked up since you are in Mumbai about Bollywood. What do you like about Bollywood? What have you experienced or explored about Bollywood?
Well, I've met a couple of pretty well-known Bollywood actors and actresses.
Wow.
Who have been all very sweet people, very interesting people.
Trying to drop
I'm
names.
not. I'm not sure that. Well, I mean, I don't know. So I'll tell you a funny story, and
Okay.
I guess this is going to be more about my ignorance of Bollywood, just to make that very, very clear, okay? But my very first week here, so I knew some well-known Indian actors, either because I had seen some famous Indian movies or because of people who, were in Hollywood movies, but I was no expert by any stretch of the imagination. And there were only, if you had asked me before I arrived to name some top Bollywood stars, I might have been able to come up with 5 or 6 people, but certainly not anywhere near the breadth of the extraordinary talent that's here. So I got here at the end of August, and not even a week I was here. I was asked to be a presenter at an awards ceremony that there was an organization that was giving awards to both Bollywood stars and famous musicians and other personalities, restaurant owners, who were involved in environmental projects. So it was really a nice honor for me to be able to participate. And it was a star-studded event. But I'll be perfectly honest with you, I didn't know who any of the people were. Okay. So the funny thing was that I got called up. I have to apologize because this is going to be embarrassing for me more than anything else. And but I got called up to give an award to Karishma Kapoor. And I did not know who Karishma Kapoor was. I'm really sorry to admit this. It's horribly embarrassing for me. But my wife was furiously Googling as I up on the stage and realizing that this was one of the not just stars of Bollywood, but one of the royalty of Bollywood. And she was incredibly charming, and I've actually met her a couple times since then. But that just shows you how little I knew about Bollywood when I first arrived, and I've tried to bone up a little bit. So I've watched some TV shows. I've watched some wonderful TV shows. Some of the new TV series that are being produced here in India are wonderful. So Made in Heaven, we love Made in Heaven. Little Things, I think Little Things has got to be one of the most charming TV shows I've ever seen in my life. The writing, I have to say, you've seen the whole series? Have you seen the whole series, Little Things?
Not the whole series, but I've seen the first few seasons. Okay.
So there's one episode which I think is at the end of the first season, I'm pretty sure, where the two characters have a fight in a hotel room. And it's the most honest, raw, genuine fight I've ever seen between a couple, I think, ever on screen. It's so well done and so emotional, and I just think it's extraordinary. So that's wonderful. Sacred Games, I love Sacred Games. So I watch a lot more TV series than I watch movies, to be honest.
How nice.
And I'm really enjoying it.
In fact, Little Things is one of the web series that actually made it so big and gave many others an opportunity come forth, to show what good content can do, whatever platform, OTT or web series. It really, really opened it up.
Well, and I think these the platforms that are available like Netflix and Hulu, they're producing such an incredible amount of content, and they're giving opportunities to lesser known artists who, 15, 20 years ago, you make a pilot, and if the pilot doesn't do well, that's it. You don't ever get a chance to sort of explore the show. And here you have it. To me, it's amazing, and it's a bit overwhelming, frankly, because I turn on the TV every single time I turn on Netflix. They're advertising a new show. There's a brand new show, I haven't started it yet, that Mindy Kaling directs, called Never Have I Ever. That seems absolutely wonderful.
We're going to play that.
Oh, well. That's a very dangerous game. I used to play that game a lot in college, but that's a very dangerous game.
Which means you've got lots of stories to tell then. So we're definitely playing the game. So you've got to
but
pick.
it's
Either you play the game or you sing.
Oh my goodness. Those are both dangerous. We'll have to see. We'll see how.
Let's quickly jump to Hollywood and you tell me some of your favorites back there.
Well, I have to admit that I'm a fan of classics and probably movies that many of your listeners have never even heard of. But just because these are movies that predate that they're older than me. But I'm a huge David Lean fan. So movies like Dr. Zhivago is probably my all-time favorite movie. I will so among the famous people that I've had a chance to meet in my life, I briefly got to meet Omar Sharif just shortly before he passed away. My last overseas assignment before I was here in Mumbai was in Cairo. I lived in Cairo for 5 years, and I went to a reception, and Omar Sharif was there, and I got to chat with him for a few minutes. And he was just such an extraordinary actor, really extraordinary actor. Dr. Zhivago, Lawrence of Arabia, which are both David Lean movies that Omar Sharif starred in. Honestly, there's I'm trying to think of a recent movie that I've seen that has really struck me. There's so much stuff on. You put me on the spot and I can't think of one off the top of my head. As we talk, something will surely pop up in my head as something that I saw recently.
I'm sure the Christopher Nolans of the world that you like. I'm sure there's Ben Affleck, who's done some good work. Even if it is in the recent past, he's gone down the road of directing some very hard-hitting movies. These guys are doing some good work. And of course, Quentin Tarantino. These are some of the names that come to mind.
So I just saw that now that you remembered it, you remind me. I just saw Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which is I love Quentin Tarantino. He is an absolutely astonishing director. And Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is sort of a perfect Quentin Tarantino movie because it's witty and really interestingly done, based on real characters. I was sort of generally aware of the, Charles Manson and the murders and the movie, for those who haven't seen it, I won't give it away, but it's sort of an interesting take on the most famous Charles Manson murder. But subsequently, we actually just saw a documentary yesterday on Charles Manson because seeing that movie sparked our interest in learning a little bit more about the real story behind that. But that's an absolutely wonderful movie. Pulp Fiction is one of my all-time favorite movies.
Yes. When it comes to the movies that we've got to talk about, I think more than half of what Quentin Tarantino has done will always be in the list of the top 100 movies that we like. It's just how it is. And the same is with Christopher Nolan. And there are many, many directors like that.
I'll tell you a funny movie, a quick funny anecdote about Quentin Tarantino. When my wife was pregnant with, I guess, our second child, so this would have been, I want to say 2003 or maybe early 2004, we were living in Jerusalem and we hadn't been out a lot because, she was quite pregnant and tired. And so we decided to go out to a movie, which we hadn't done in a long time. And I had heard great things about Kill Bill. I didn't know anything about the movie other than it got rave reviews. So I took her to Kill Bill, and this is, 16 years ago? She still doesn't forgive me because, as you may recall, it's an extremely, extremely violent movie. And it wasn't necessarily the thing that a 6-7 month pregnant woman was looking to see on her first movie date night out in a while. But it's become one of my all-time favorite movies. I've seen Kill Bill 1 and 2, each one of them probably half dozen times. Did you ever watch Parks and Recreation?
Yes, I have. Oh my God, they're coming back with a reunion. Everybody's coming back with a reunion, from Friends.
I saw that. Well, this is one of the, I will say that there are some creative upsides to the lockdown. One of them is that there are some great movies that are being released directly to streaming services. So rather than having to wait for a few minutes, we get to see them right away. But also it's forcing a lot of people to think really creatively. So my daughter is studying to be an actor. She's at one of the top acting programs in the country. And they've obviously been online since March. And there are certain things that are really difficult to do online. Her dance classes, for example, are obviously really difficult to do online. But they're also exploring some of the creative things about doing videos that increasingly are part of being any kind of artist these days. There's a great, you can go to this website, it's called 24-Hour Plays. And basically it's a series of playwrights and well-known actors who are pairing up and doing these short 4, 5, 6-minute plays. Most of them are monologues, but not all of them. And many of them are about the current circumstances, but not all of them are. And they're incredibly creative. It reminds me of what people talk about, for example, making movies in closed societies like Iran, for example, where the combination of censorship and taboo, which is not good ordinarily, it can force an artist to be a little bit more creative about how you handle certain subjects. And I think the lockdown is also forcing some artists to be a little bit creative about how to handle certain things.
Absolutely. We have both the reality shows, which is the singing reality shows, now going online. You know, they've sent stuff to their places, American Idol and The Voice, and they ensured that they have the same equipment in everybody, all the contestants' houses, wherever they are, so they can deliver, you know, the best they can with the given circumstances. And I think it's amazing. It's opening up new opportunities, and that's really what we're looking forward to in the new normal.
So I wanted to talk about, if I could for a few minutes, one of the creative things that my team has been doing at the consulate. We have an amazing social media team, and we have across all of the platforms some really creative material. And when this crisis broke out, they were thinking about how do they adapt and make the social media content that we produce relevant to the current circumstances. And one of the things which I think we talked about very briefly before was the value of the US-India partnership for both countries. And that's true under all circumstances, but under the current crisis that we're facing, we're seeing in particular how this can help both countries. So the social media team, and your listeners can, or viewers can go look at our Facebook page, Instagram, Twitter, have been highlighting some of the extraordinary heroic efforts that Indians who participated in exchange programs in the US at some point in their lives are undertaking here in India. So we have a total of about 16,000 alumni throughout India, over which about 1,400 alumni are just here in the Mumbai area. And they're really doing extraordinary things. So I thought, you know, I could mention just a couple of these people, you know, who had amazing experiences. So there's somebody named Rajeswari Corey, who participated in an international visitor leadership program. She's the deputy controller of civil defense here in Maharashtra, and she is producing or providing personal protective equipment and ventilators to hospitals in Maharashtra and distributing food to marginalized people throughout Maharashtra. And she's also in charge of a government-run relief camp for migrants in Mumbai. A short Facebook posting that we put up about her experience got almost 200,000 likes and something like 1,000 comments, which is a lot, really quite extraordinary. We have another alumni named Sabir Sayed, who works with a local religious foundation, and they're producing 3,000 food packets every single day to provide underprivileged communities. Elsa Dasilva, who worked in a global women's mentorship partnership program. She has been working with a project also to provide food to 18,000 migrants and laborers. One really interesting program, we have something called the YES program, the Youth Exchange and Study program. It's a high school exchange program. So students who are wanting to work on their English, they can go to the States for a year, live with a host family, and spend a year of high school. One of those alums, somebody named Wasudef Mishra, through an initiative, is making masks for local police using upcycled fabric from garment factories. So his center is not only providing a livelihood for 25 5 women who are producing the masks, but it's also donated 10,000 masks to needy individuals. So that's just a couple of examples of extraordinary people who had an experience in the US that I think contributed to making them the amazing people that they are now, and are giving back to their communities here in India.
That is so good. Being a Consul General representing the US here in India, I think your hold on matters from politics, which obviously we are not going to talk much about, but to even entertainment is super cool. I am thoroughly impressed, David.
Thank you. It's one of the fun things about being Consul General here. For me, I love India. I love the culture. I love the food. I love the music. And I hope my enthusiasm comes through, because it's really important for people to see, for me, that I am a true believer in the US-India relationship, and that partnership, and how much it means to me personally, and how much it means to the two countries. So if I can just be sort of a spokesperson for the value of that relationship, to me, that will be enough during my tenure here in Mumbai.
Absolutely. Okay, quick 3 questions actually. What is your favorite Indian dish that you have liked in the days that you've spent in India so far?
Okay.
Which one is it?
So let me just, before I tell you my favorite dish, I would just want to say that when you eat Indian food in the United States, and there's very good Indian restaurants in the United States, it all basically is North Indian food. It's very good, but you don't recognize the incredible variety of food you have in India. So it would be very, very hard for me to say one thing, but I will say that among the things that I discovered here that I hadn't had before is Mangalorean tandoori fish, which is just magical. I mean, it's so simple, and every time I have it, it's just something I feel like I could have every single day. There's also nothing better than just a simple grilled chicken tikka, right? It's a good spicy grilled chicken tikka with some garlic naan. Very, very simple. Yeah, so those are among the things. And then I have to give tribute to the Maharashtra street food and say vada pav is with a nice fried chili on top is just, it is a perfect snack.
Yeah, it is so good. Okay, now moving on to Bollywood, if there are any actors that come to your mind because you watched their movies recently and you really fell in love with them.
Well, I was really sad about the passing of Irfan Khan, and so young. It's really tragic. And he's an actor who I've known for probably more than 30 years. I mean, Salam Bombay, I saw Salam Bombay when it was first in the theaters in I think it was 1980. Actually, I'll tell you what really, so this was really wonderful for me. When I was in university, I saw Salam Bombay, and then Mira Nair came to my university, and I saw it again with her, and then we got to spend an hour chatting with her about the movie. And of course, this was when she was right at the beginning of her career. So it was an amazing experience for me as a young student to get to hear from such an extraordinary artist, and then she's become an amazing, amazing actor. But from The Namesake to Lunchbox, I love the movie The Lunchbox. Of course, Life of Pi. I mean, he was an extraordinary actor with an incredible range. Yeah, so I would say, he's obviously on everybody's mind right now. So I watched Maqbool yesterday, because I haven't seen a lot of his sort of straight Bollywood movies, and people recommended that as a movie to watch. And again, I mean, just an extraordinary performance. He really is a world-class actor, and will be immensely missed by everybody.
Absolutely. Okay, the last thing. What do you pick? Do you want to sing a song or Never Have I Ever?
As long as you don't really embarrass me, I'll go with Never Have I Ever. But you have to promise me that you're not going to. Let's see what you got for me.
Never have I ever, I'll try not to embarrass any one of us. Never have I ever slapped anyone.
Oh, yes. And I've got a good story for that. You want to hear my good story? Okay.
Yes, please.
So when I went to an arts camp because I was a musician. Mostly I was a musician, but I also did some stage and musicals and that kind of stuff. And I was in a scene from All About Eve, which one of the great movies of all time. And in this scene, in the original movie, it's a scene between a man and a woman, and at the apex of the scene, the man slaps the woman. And we were teenagers, and the director said to me, in the actual performance, he said, "We're not going to do this in rehearsal, but in the after performance, I want you to actually slap her." And and I didn't do it hard, but I did slap her, which I think produced a pretty raw scene. I don't remember how angry she was about me afterwards, but I do remember telling her that the director insisted that I do it, and so I did. So that's probably not the only time I've ever slapped somebody, but that was the one that I remember.
Oh my God, that is so cool. So yeah,
all right, I guess it's my turn.
Okay.
Well, this is one that it's on everyone's mind, so hopefully it's not an embarrassing one. Ordinarily, I would never ask this question, but since you hear stories about people do it all the time, never have I ever done a radio show with in my underwear. Right, because you see people now who are like wearing suits on top and they're not wearing pants below, and they get caught doing that. So I thought maybe at some point before COVID-19,
I can show you what I'm wearing. I'm wearing a pair of shorts. Unfortunately, it's not an underwear. Damn it! It's just a pair of shorts. See, right here.
Well, there you go. Okay, but that's what I mean. You've got the formal radio wear on top, and you've got the I'm sitting around my house for weeks on end on the bottom.
It is fun. We can go on and on. But thank you so much, David, for your time.
Annie, it's been a pleasure, and I look forward to having a chance to chat in person in the not too distant future when our world returns to some semblance of normalcy.
Some semblance of normalcy. The first thing that you'd want to do as soon as all this kind of starts easing itself out. First thing.
I want to go out to one of the natural parks. I want to go see tigers. I miss the tigers.
I know, right? So the koel that you were hearing a little while ago, she is on the whole day and even the entire night. It's like they've suddenly found freedom that they never had before in decades.
It's utterly amazing. It's such a beautiful sound, and I also have a koel who sits somewhere outside my balcony and calls all day long, and it's nice for a while, but looking forward to getting back to the hustle and bustle of Mumbai the way it's intended to be.
Right. Thank you so much. And this is David Ranz, guys, for the time that he's given us, US Consul General. And yes, he operates out of Mumbai. Don't forget what we're trying to do here with 100 stars, 100 hours is donate to the PM Relief Fund. There is a QR code right at the end of the screen. Why don't you scan the code? It will take you to a link, and that goes directly to the PM Relief Fund. And yes, it is directly linked to the PM Relief Fund too. Thank you so much for your time, David. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you, Annie. Have a great day.
Hi guys, this is RJs Dasilva from 94.3 Radio 1 Chennai. You're watching 100 Hours, 100 Stars. So many legends sharing their life experiences with you. If you like what you're seeing right now, please like, comment and share. And of course, don't forget to subscribe.